Cecil usually hits in that 2-hole, but we like Cecil's ability to get on base. We feel like, he can steal a bag or two. What about it, Cecil? Last time you hit leadoff. Did you ever hit leadoff in baseball or anything like that, Cecil?
Not really. Speed is not my forte. I could draw a walk. That works better in that 9-hole, where you're trying to get somebody on, get past the pitcher spot, get to the top of the order.
Yeah, you could roll it. You could roll it around, right? Get it back to the top. Yeah,
sure. That's what you wanted.
Hey, that's
somebody could protect that pitcher, because I was well before the DH days. My baseball career, so protect that pitcher.
Yeah, guy like Patrick Murphy, he's got value in those 8 and 9 hitters. Fast pitch softball.
Yeah.
That's another leadoff person for you.
Yeah, DH. That's the way I'd play the 9-hole. Well, not the major league level anymore, but college. Major league, everybody 9-hole guys swinging for the fences, just like the cleanup hitter.
The 9 spot is where you want to hit in a beer league, right? Because it gives you more time in the dugout with the cooler, and then you don't.
I hadn't thought about that, but you're correct.
Strategery, when it comes to beer league softball, Cecil, we're ahead of the game. We're innovative here.
Plus, in that league, your pitcher's probably your cleanup guy too. He's your best.
Oh, no doubt. Well, the pitcher in beer league softball is usually the manager as well. So he's definitely hitting fourth. That same person, that guy or that gal is usually the same person in beer league softball. Hey, Cecil, we want to talk some SEC football, and we love to talk kickoff times. We did that a lot last week on the program with you, and we're seeing some of this start to play out now. We get word just in the last few moments: Alabama, Texas A&M in that 2:30 slot on CBS 1 week from Saturday. LSU, Florida from Baton Rouge will be a nighttime kickoff on ESPN. Cecil, when you look at this big picture, is this a case of sort of CBS doing its math in terms of its allotted times that it can have with each team, or how did this play out?
Yeah, a little bit. I think Alabama, barring some exceptional negotiation, league teams are on 5 times. Can be on CBS up to 5 times. Alabama's already been on, as we know, with South Carolina and Ole Miss. They're certainly going to be on with LSU and Auburn. So that left one sort of swing game out of the Texas A&M, Mississippi State. Had Mississippi State played better, upset Auburn, but they didn't. And so this will burn probably the last Alabama time slot. You won't have CBS for Tennessee, Arkansas, or Mississippi State. Of course, what concerns people here are the 2 home games with Tennessee and Arkansas. Would like to, I think a lot of people, although the urgency suddenly isn't there with the temperatures, maybe they'll be a little cooler. I think just for the atmosphere, people would like a night game. So we'll see with Tennessee. The spike move would be to put it at 11 o'clock, so I don't rule that out. At 11 a.m. I would like to think that nobody's being spiteful in any of this. So we'll see what happens. I'll put it that way. We'll discuss that next Monday when it rolls around.
Well, and don't you have to kind of factor homecoming into this too, right?
I guess, although I think they've played 6 o'clock games for homecoming before.
Yeah, that's true.
What you don't want for that is an 11 a.m.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting at.
Where you're out parading at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Just for the scoreboard, just to keep up the random SEC selection of kickoff time, home night game 2018, 2019, with today's announcement that LSU and Florida will be the night game, which is a heck of a night game. LSU 9 night home games, Alabama 1.
Oof.
It's random, Travis. It's a random selection.
LSU's got to take the W's where they can get them, Cecil. You know that.
It's a random 9 times out of 10, same.
But Cecil, will Alabama start a billboard campaign in Birmingham? Have you gotten any word about that at this point?
I haven't heard anything about that.
Okay.
So,
all right.
We'll
just had to check.
See what happens.
We just had to check on that. Yeah. It's been the LSU approach, as we know, in the past. To matter.
The 2:30 game at A&M, it's never hot in Texas, so don't have to worry about that. Don't know what the forecast. Can't say what the forecast is. It may be a lovely day at the foot of the hill country in College Station.
It was a warm one as forecasted this past Saturday at Bryant-Denny, Cecil. And, as things heated up, it seemed like that Alabama defense started to wilt a little bit, especially as the snap count went up for the Ole Miss Rebels in the second half. Ole Miss with over 300 yards of offense and 21 points after the break. I know you wrote about this after the game in terms of the Alabama offense having a place in all this too, in terms of trying to control games, something that, we've heard Nick Saban talk about this for quite some time now. This has spanned multiple years. I think going back even to, as I talked about earlier, that Arkansas game in 2016 that went kind of crazy, is that, are we at a point though in college football that's really an attainable goal, controlling games to the extent, say, Saban would like, even with a program like the one he oversees?
We probably are. I would have to sit down, and maybe this is an open week project, and look at Oklahoma and Ohio State and sort of where they are, in terms of opponent snap count. I wouldn't think that they're negative 20 in any of their games, but they score fast, and they've just both been probably a little better defensively than Alabama so far this year. Whether that's competition or whether they've just improved. Oklahoma looks improved on defense to me, so that's probably some of it. That it's just college football the way it is, but there are some situations where the defense could have helped themselves. The turnover on special teams didn't help them at all.
Yeah.
Never does. And there were some situations where they could have helped themselves by getting off the field and committed, and either had penalties or missed assignments. I think that's what concerns Nick Saban, and I think that's why he left not just Tua, but a lot of the offensive starters in there until 7 minutes left in the game.
It was a situation in which he felt like there was more work to be done, you think, even for the offense after a performance like what we saw from Devontae Smith and Tua?
Well, I think that he felt like that if the defense wasn't going to get off the field, they needed to keep scoring points. I think was probably the simplest explanation. I know some people would like to see Tua come off earlier, but Nick takes the NFL approach that your starting quarterback stays in there until there's not a shadow of a doubt, and certainly gave Tua a chance to put up the kind of numbers that everybody said last year. Well, if he was playing 4 quarters like Kyler Murray, what kind of numbers would he put up? He'd put up numbers like he did Saturday with 400 plus yards and 6-7 touchdowns. So that's part of it. I don't think Nick looks statistics. I don't think he's worried about school record this or school record that. But I think he does worry when defense doesn't get off the field about putting the second team offense out there and having a 3-and-out, and giving it back to them, create more snaps for the defense, because then you're really worn down, and you try and stick a finger in the dam by putting the first offense back out there. So again, you could do the numbers for Ole Miss. Well, they couldn't have caught up, and you'd probably be right. But Nick's not one to leave those kind of things to chance, I don't think.
And coaches are different that way anyway, right? They're more into the feel of the game as it's going on. and kind of what their instincts are telling them too. And if it just doesn't feel right to a coach, you'll see more than one do exactly what Nick Saban did on Saturday. And it's not just the feel of that game. He's got a sample size while he's there on Saturday afternoon of 4 previous games that he's working with as well. So a lot of things, a lot of variables go into that thought process. Now, sort of lost in all this on Saturday was the fact that Clemson survived there at vaunted Kenan Stadium. There at on the campus of UNC, the Tigers escaped with a 1-point win over the Tar Heels. With that, Alabama goes to number 1 in the AP and coaches polls yesterday. And Cecil, I wanted to ask you for some perspective on this 12 straight years of being ranked number 1 in the Associated Press poll for this program.
That's what I'm. Nobody's ever come close to doing it.
Exactly. And is that stat? Have we talked about that enough over these 11 or 12 years? We obviously talk a lot about the 5 national championships and those things, but down the road, when we look back and we look at this type of streak at number 1, is that maybe the one that might end up standing out above all the others?
It'll certainly be one that we won't see broken. I honestly believe that, no matter how Clemson builds it or Ohio State builds it or Oklahoma builds it. It's just, first of all, sometimes it takes something quirky. Had Clemson gone out and beaten North Carolina 62-0, there wouldn't have been a change. So that's something that's out of Alabama's control. So you don't control it entirely, but it's just such a standard of excellence over such a prolonged period of time. Now, we both know that the September 29th AP poll and $4 will buy you a cup of coffee these days. So that's what it's worth. Except it is a historic measure, and it's just a remarkable testament. I think Miami, during its great run with great teams, was 7 years in a row that they were number 1 at some point. And think how dominant those Miami teams were. And I think they may have won 4 out of 7, held on for the national championship. One that didn't, obviously, was played in the Sugar Bowl when they were number 1. But, a great program. And Alabama's just completely eclipsed that. And, who knows if they'll end up doubling. Will Alabama be number 1 at any point next year? It's way too early to even talk about. But, even if the streak is 12, we'll never see that approach. You'll never see another double-digit stroke. I certainly won't in my lifetime. I really don't have double digits left, but I don't think even babies in the cradle will see it.
Cecil, you think we'll see another Alabama player catch 274 yards worth of passes this season, Cecil? This season, potentially. I mean, crying out loud, at most places, most instances, you would say that's a stat that's untouchable for the foreseeable future. But, I mean, with these guys, it might happen again this year.
Sure, we could. I could see Judy doing it. I could see Ruggs doing it. I wouldn't say that Devontae put it out of reach. It depends on what the defense gives you. I don't know if you'll ever see another guy who's considered his team's number 3 option get 274 yards. But, that's what the way college football is now. It used to be a team who got 600 yards, and that was unheard of. Now somebody's getting 600 yards every week. So that's part of it. But with that said, Devontae did it about every way you could do it, with the slant over the middle, with the tough catch for that last touchdown, by getting open, by yards after contact.
Yeah.
He did it about, think of catching 11 balls and averaging 25 yards a catch.
Yeah.
Which is what he did.
Amazing. So we've got a bye week. How does Cecil Hurt spend his bye week Saturday coming up?
Saturday, I'm going to watch games. I sure am. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Stay in Tuscaloosa, not travel. Got a trip to Texas coming up the next week, so I'm not going to. That'll be enough travel for me. So it's not the. You never know how games are going to turn out. It doesn't look like the greatest slate ever, but Auburn, Florida is certainly interesting. Iowa, Michigan is certainly interesting. And get to see. I always like to watch teams that not. I'll end up on a game that not everybody's watching. Sometimes when I get to watch, usually it's night games. Since Alabama's certainly not playing at night, I have time to watch games at night. So, I ended up watching probably more than anybody needed or would have wanted to watch South Carolina and Kentucky on Saturday night. Because Auburn, by the time I got home, Auburn had put Mississippi State away. There wasn't any further ado there. So I watched a fairly good bit of South Carolina and Kentucky, and Kentucky's got quarterback situation. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what for sure Ole Miss is going to do. John Reese Plumlee can certainly run, but he really can't throw. Looks like Ben Hicks is going to take back over for Starkville at Arkansas. And that's what happens when you're in the lower half of the league. That's a lot of times the source of the problem can be traced back to quarterback.
Absolutely. Well, Cecil, we appreciate you accommodating us on your schedule during the bye week, and hope you enjoyed as much as possible. I know you got some things to take care of, and we look forward to getting back to our normal time slot on Tuesday.
Is this a Hawaii weekend for you, Trav?
I wish it was. It's actually a colonoscopy weekend for me, Cecil. So I think that's about as far away as you can get from Oahu. You know what I mean?
That's pretty much 180 degrees there. Although if you would fly me to a gastroenterologist in Honolulu, I would pay the price.
Oh, I'd love it. But our Rainbow Warriors dropped one on Nevada Saturday night, Cecil. How about that?
In the snow. Travis.
In the snow as dogs and took care of the wolf pack. Yeah.
Talk about playing through the conditions.
Hey, and check this out, Cecil. Here's your post-game travel for the Hawaii football team Saturday night. Fly immediately after the game from Reno to San Francisco, lay over in San Francisco in the airport all night, wait on that 9 a.m. from San Francisco to Honolulu. They take off on the 9 a.m. They get out over the Pacific and have to come back to San Francisco because of issues. And then they have to wait on another plane before they ultimately, hey, look, we're just glad they got back out from over the Pacific, okay? But, it's a little different world for Hawaii football.
That's not I've actually been in that situation one time, and out over the middle of the Pacific is not where you want to come on and say we've got nothing to worry about. We've got a mechanical issue. That's the only thing worse than hearing that. In my situation, they came on and they said that, but they were speaking Thai. It was on Royal Thai Airlines.
Yeah.
And so everybody, all the Thai people on the plane immediately start, get this look on their face, and we have no idea what they're being told. We have no idea what's being said. So
that's no good.
That's not good. But
at all.
Happy ending then. Happy ending for not just the Warriors, but the Road Warriors.
That's absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Well, Cecil, we appreciate it again, my friend. We'll do it again soon.
Glad to do it. Talk to you next week.
There you go.